Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts. It's been a while since we've made progress here, but I'm playing this time, so we'll take a look and see what new world comes up for us today.
Yeah, it has been quite a while, but we've had Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty to keep the videos coming for a while, though that's almost over now that I think about it.
You are right, but now we get to continue another playthrough that we haven't for a while and see what we can get done today. The next world coming up isn't especially long, so we can get it taken care of with relative ease.
Hey Jordan, before we get too far into our journey today, there was something I needed to ask. So when you brought me into that space world, you mentioned something about the general concept of the multiverse. There was the omniverse, which I'm pretty sure Alex mentioned back in the Olympus Coliseum, and then the multiverse, which is what we've mainly been calling it, but I also remember you describing another name being the televerse. What exactly was that?
That is a good question. I will admit, in all of my research about this topic, I wasn't able to gather much for the televerse. I am vaguely aware it is a similar concept to this game, but instead it consists of television show characters interacting rather than Final Fantasy and Disney, or in this case, other presidents and political figures. It is likely we'll see someone who is more familiar with the concept soon.
Knowing our luck so far, they're probably going to be showing up right about now.
Whoa, where am I? What just happened? I'm alive? But I swear I was just, oh, wait a minute. Donald and Barack are here too? Phew. Oh man. I can't say we aren't used to being thrown around to all these different universes, but it's still scary every time. Where are we this time anyway, guys?
Well, that was rather good timing. We got someone from another world. This time it's another Joe. He seems to be unique in that he's already somewhat aware that he's in another world. I suppose he would be used to it if he is well experienced in the televerse already.
Oh, that's great, because the last one we had somehow topped our Joe with nonsensical stories. I can only imagine how this is going to go.
How is it that we've gotten two Joes before seeing one Barack? Maybe next time another me will show up?
I'm as glad as anyone that we get to see another Joe, but what is that in front of us? Is that a whale?
Yes, Joe, that is a whale. Before actually finishing the path to the next world, Monstro from Pinocchio will interrupt the group and eat the gummy ship. That is the next world that Donald will have to finish before moving on with the rest of the story.
This has to be one of the weirdest starts to a video we've had in a while. A Joe from yet another universe or televerse or whatever it is shows up, and then we're about to get eaten by a whale? Somehow I didn't think this would happen when the series started.
I've been to loads of different worlds across the televerse. Some weird, some fun, mostly dangerous, but this is something else. Can I ask why we are in little boxes playing, what is this?
So essentially, this is a crossover between the Disney series of movies and Final Fantasy games, though mainly just Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 10 so far. The spiky-haired kid is Sora, then there's Donald and Goofy. They're the duck and dog, respectively.
You'd think someone who's been alive as long as he has would know, but apparently he has the same memory, or lack of memory, I should say, as our Joe does.
What? Hey, shut up, man. When did you start being mean again? Come to think of it, both of you are acting different. What's going on? Are you not my Donald and Obama?
No, Joe, you are in another world with presidents very likely similar to your own, though we are not the exact same ones you have come to know.
Oh, man. So this isn't the real world or the televerse? This is something different altogether? Huh.
Yeah, we have to mention that a lot these days with all the visitors coming through. I think it's best if we watch at least a bit of the scenes coming up.
I'm a little lost here. Is there any reason why they aren't actually saying words that have shown up on screen? I guess they may have not been able to have child actors that young say these lines. I don't know, though.
I don't know, but new Joe, have you heard about any of this Kingdom Hearts game and the adventures with your presidents?
Can't really say I've heard of this fan-dangled new video game before, but oh, I know those Disney characters. You know, there was this one time that Jill took me out to that Disney Planet place, and believe it or not, I actually met the Mickey Mouse. He even gave me a hug and a lollipop.
Joe, you know that's just a guy in a costume, right?
You know, I've sort of been through this thing before in the televerse. I met so many new friends. We went to places I never thought possible. There was this cartoon fish town, and I had the most delicious energy drink, but I'm pretty sure I was arrested after that.
You know I got arrested too, but that was clearly you and the other Democrats that set that up. You didn't have anything to do with cartoons, though.
Sorry about that, Joe. Donald gets like that sometimes.
Hey, Sora! Are you okay?
What are you guys doing? Where are we anyway? Whoa!
Oh, you know, I think that big old whale Monstro just swallowed us.
While the trio gets their bearings, new Joe, please continue.
We changed so many lives. The Sponge Man, his wife Stargirl or whatever her name was, the world's best lawyer. It was fun while it lasted. We'd listen to all sorts of music, but for some reason it always felt wrong, like we were breaking some rule we didn't know about. But man, for the life of me, I still can't remember what I was just doing before getting here.
Despite all of these multiversal adventures we've been having, I'm still finding it a little difficult to believe that you've met characters from television shows. Not that it's much weirder than us meeting political figures from other universes now that I think about it.
And we don't plan on using those songs here. Simple and Clean is already going to take away any ad revenue we'd get whenever it plays. We don't need it to happen more.
I'm sure you'll remember whatever it is soon enough. This is pretty much par for the course with our Joe's stories, so this is only slightly weirder than average.
Sometime later today, I'd love to hear more about these stories you've had. They seem even more entertaining than mine.
What have you got there, Pinocchio?
With this, we can get out of here, Father.
Really? With this big block, you think so?
Hey, Mr. Longnose, can you hear me? I've met a sponge with a nose just about as long as yours. I reckon you two could be great pals, if he were still around, that is.
Kind of concerning how he thinks SpongeBob is dead, unless there was some episode that I missed. Also, you can't interact with them, only us. I don't know how much you could change in your worlds, but here the plot of the game is set and can't be changed no matter how much you talk with them.
When we got separated, I traveled all over looking for him. Thank goodness we're together again. So, you seem to know Pinocchio quite well. I hope he was a good boy in my absence. Well, we've all had quite a journey.
I lived in a house like this a while ago. It only had a couple of walls and a fish. I don't think it was inside of a whale, though.
How are you not sure if it was in a whale or not? That seems like a pretty important detail.
I'm not sure what else you expected from him at this point. Before we hear more about the new Joe's antics, we should mention that the goal of this world is to find Pinocchio and in the process unlock a much better jump that will help with exploration throughout the game.
There's going to be a lot of looking around in his stomach, so look forward to that.
What are you doing? Come on, let's go back.
You know, Geppetto's awfully worried about you.
Pinocchio, stop fooling around. This is no time for games.
Okay, we found him. That was a pretty easy world. Only needed to spend a few minutes here and we're out.
But Sora, I thought you liked games. Or are you too cool to play them now that you have the Keyblade?
Riku? What are you doing here?
Just playing with Pinocchio.
You know what I mean. What about Kairi? Did you find her?
Maybe. Catch us, and maybe I'll tell you what I know.
Oh, come on!
Fine, I thought that was a little too easy.
Hey, new Joe, we're typically interested in finding out what happened to people before we meet them. You already mentioned what you and your friends have been doing, but what events have you been through in the places you've traveled?
At this point, it's just a thinly veiled way to get a recap of your series for those who aren't very familiar to it.
Me and my Donald and Barack were sucked into Donald's home theater screen, and we had a whole adventure. We would hop to different shows, meeting those characters, making friends, enemies, and causing a bunch of trouble. After a little while, we learned about this mysterious figure, the Lord of the Televerse. She was watching us from the shadows, building an army the whole time we were just trying to survive. But George found us. That was a good moment. I think I'm starting to remember more and more. I'm sure there was a castle, a war, and a lot of death. I get the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. Darn it, man, I wish I could just remember.
That seems to be quite the adventure. None of that has happened to any of us. We mainly keep our wacky antics limited to the games we're playing and not rewriting the events of other worlds and changing characters' fates.
Ben and myself have been doing research on some events transpiring in other worlds, and although we don't exactly know what you have been through, I have found your part of your series is called The Three Presidents. Is there any reason why it's named that when George is also there and would thus be more than three?
I wish I had an answer for you, man. Maybe it just sounds better than four. Hey, this whole time we've been inside a series called The Three Presidents, across the Televerse. I don't know if I can handle this, Mr. Jordan.
Don't worry, sometimes my own stories overwhelm me too. I'm sure we're all part of our own series if you think about it hard enough. Donald, are you doing well so far? It's kind of hard to tell when a lot of the rooms look the same.
I think so, but I'm not really sure where to go. Eventually, I'll make my way to wherever it is Pinocchio is at.
Hey, I know what to do. I'll tell you all a story of my own to keep the other Joe occupied away from whatever is bothering him. I'm sure this can't go badly.
I can't see how this can go well, but you might as well just tell it.
So there I was, the Joe Devil born again. I was initially put off by my crime fighting days a week or two ago, but then I came back to put the suit on once again to save people. I saw there was a guy on a bicycle that didn't have his helmet on, and was about to go right off the cliff, which was unsafe due to him not having a helmet on. I ran over and stole someone else's helmet since I thought they weren't using it and threw it to the guy on the bicycle.
Are we seriously doing the whole Joe Devil thing again? That was so dumb the first time, it's not any better now.
It turns out the guy I was throwing the helmet at already was going to turn before he went off the cliff. But then throwing the helmet distracted him. He actually did fall off when he wasn't going to before. Then the guy I stole the helmet from was immediately hit in the head by a brick that was being thrown by someone else unrelated that was on top of a building, since that's just what he does. If he had that helmet I took from him, he probably would have been relatively okay, but he is definitely not okay now. I left immediately after realizing what I had done didn't really help anything.
So not only were you directly responsible for ending another person's life and theft, but you were indirectly responsible for what is likely a permanent brain injury to someone else, yet did nothing about the person throwing bricks from the top of a building. You are literally the opposite of everything the Daredevil stands for, and I'm sure telling that story made everybody's day worse.
I'm glad I'm the president, not just for the obvious reasons, but also I'm in a position to ban all vigilantes like the Joe Devil who make things worse for our society.
I don't know if it's good that you're sounding a lot like Wilson Fisk, but at the same time I can't blame you for wanting to remove the Joe Devil from the public consciousness.
I think we can all make an exception and say that we are much worse off as a society with the Joe Devil than without.
One day I'll prove to you all how the Joe Devil can save everyone. I'm not sure when that will be, but I'm sure it will come around.
A little off topic, but do you all hear a typewriter?
Actually, yeah, that is weird.
Why do you still care about that boy? He has all but deserted you for the Keyblade and his new companions, after all.
I don't care about him. I was just messing with him a little.
Oh, really? Of course you were. Beware the darkness in your heart. The heartless prey upon it.
Yeah, we've seen that happen quite a few times with the villains. Mainly Clayton and that queen, which is on her team of people, not really for Riku that much.
Riku! What's the matter with you? What are you thinking? Don't you realize what you're doing?
I was about to ask you the same thing, Sora. You only seem interested in running around and showing off that Keyblade these days. Do you even want to save Kairi?
I do.
I had a question for the new Joe while I save whoever is over here. Out of morbid curiosity, I have to ask. Our Joe comes up with a lot of insane stories that probably never happened to him. What is the weirdest thing you've seen with everybody you've met?
Well, where could I start? Maybe I could tell you about the time Saul Goodman got us out of Fish Jail by talking about skinwalkers. Or maybe the time we put on a concert to distract Homelander while me and Soldier Boy climbed up a broadcast tower. Oh, what about the time Sponge Man married the superhero Starlight in Naboo with Don as his best man? I heard their honeymoon was wild.
You know what? Just forget I said anything, Joe.
So, Donald, this is pretty easy if you just use the Keyblade like normal. It's actually based on the parasite cage from the beginning of Final Fantasy IX, though you don't exactly fight it the same way since it can't harm the thing inside of it.
I was actually thinking of that when I saw the design first. I haven't played that game in a while, but maybe I should.
Guys, I think I just realized something. It might sound silly, but I'm pretty sure I actually died in my world. Donald, you were going to sacrifice yourself to save me and Obama from the Lord of the Televerse, but I didn't let you. You were there with me in the end, but I was happy for some reason. That's all I recall.
We've had a few others that have shown up and went back to their worlds after we were done, but this is a little different.
So after you beat this level, am I going to disappear like the others you met? Am I going to die again?
I hadn't considered that. So far, nobody in our adventure has actually been at risk of death where they came from. I'll admit, we didn't think to ask exactly, but even if you're clearly alive now, I don't think there's any way of telling if you'll still be that way when you go back considering what happened to you.
Okay, clearly the stakes are a lot higher than we thought, but we need to think about this very carefully. Although we've never come across this before, as panicking is only going to make it worse. We need to think through how the multiverse has worked so far and take what we know for sure and see what applies here.
Maybe at points we can just watch the game to at least keep us calm and have something else to focus on.
I'm thinking we're going to be needing it. Goofy, raid the room. This is probably the least cheerful we have all been collectively given the circumstances.
If this were less tense of a situation, it would have been more amusing to us.
Pinocchio, Pinocchio! Please, give me back my son.
Sorry, old man. I have some unfinished business with this puppet.
He's no puppet. Pinocchio is my little boy.
Did all of this happen in the movie? It's been a while since I watched it.
I'm not sure, but maybe he can help someone who's lost theirs.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about Kyrie?
What do you care about her?
Okay, the scene is over, but that weird typewriter is back. It's like there's something else watching us that we haven't seen before. Anyway, let's think about how the characters have worked so far and what might happen to the Televerse Joe.
So first, a different Joe showed up in Wonderland on our way there, but left as soon as the keyhole was sealed. The same thing happened with Dark Brandon and the other Donald. Alex was different since we finished what we needed to in the Olympus Coliseum, but we didn't actually seal the keyhole as that happens way later. It was after the Cerberus fight, though, which I do think is significant.
I think once Donald fights the parasite cage enemy again, that likely will be the point where the other Joe leaves our world. The typewriter, however, is a completely unknown factor, and I have no idea if that is related to Joe's leaving or presence.
Hey, let Pinocchio go, Riku.
A puppet that's lost its heart to the heartless. Maybe it holds the key to helping Kyrie. How about it, Sora? Let's join forces to save her.
I don't think him kidnapping a child is going to influence Sora to help him at all.
What? You'd rather fight me? Over a puppet that has no heart?
Heart or no heart, at least he still has a conscience.
Conscience?
You might not hear it, but right now it's loud and clear. And it's telling me you're on the wrong side.
Yeah, I don't know where he thought this plan would work in favor of him. I'm not even sure what they would have done with Pinocchio if they did work together.
Jiminy, I'm not gonna make it. Oh, I guess I'm okay.
Good for him and all, but what even happened there?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Huh?
So you pretty much have to fight this guy? And there's no other way around him? This is the end of the level?
That is correct. I mean, there is a way to escape Monstro before fighting him, but that's not typically helpful just playing the game normally, since by that point you're already almost done with it. Even then, under the current conditions, we have no idea what it would be like leaving the world without the crossover character returning first. It's too big of a risk to try it.
So this is it then. But what will happen to me? If I'm dead back in the Televerse, then where will I go? I don't like this. I already did this whole dying thing once. I can't do it again. Oh, man.
Joe, I've been working on a device that will allow me to pull characters from other worlds manually rather than them just appearing like you have. I was going to reveal this a little later, but if I can get it working, then we just may save you from your fate.
That would sound great if we weren't already so close to beating the level. It's already over for me. I'm gonna die. Oh, man. I'm not ready. I wasn't ready the first time either. I had so much stuff left to do.
Honestly, even if it works, I can't do it now, and it won't help him right this moment.
Okay, Joe, I think I have a way to calm down given what may happen to you. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Are you feeling any better?
How is that supposed to help me, Obama?
I figured it was worth a shot.
Listen, I know I'm not your Joe, and you're not my president, but can I stay? Please? I just can't do this. I already faced the void once, and now I know it's coming. What if there's nothing for me? I'll never see my friends or family again. Barack, Donald, George, Spongeman, Jesse, Jill. What if they needed me to finish the war against the Lord of the Televerse and lost? I just can't go back. I can't.
Barack, I need you to take the controller for a minute. Joe, I need you to listen, since right now I'm probably the only one who can really say this and have the effect it should. I don't know what happened in your world, but if this world's presidents are anything like yours, then I know they're working their hardest to save you if there was even the smallest chance they could succeed. I know we here fight a lot about so many things, but when I thought our Joe wouldn't come back after being possessed, there was something in me that just had this regret. The regret knowing that he could have been lost so suddenly and I never got the chance to say goodbye. These people here probably mean as much to me as your presidents mean to you. But on the chance that you don't go back alive and this really is the end for you, then at least you get to hear a Donald say that you really are the best companion I or anyone else could have ever asked for. I mean, we're at a whale fighting a parasite cage thing, and you're still the most notable part of this whole world. We're nearing the end, and I need you to know you really have helped us just by being here, and I'm sure you helped your friends in that televerse of yours. I need to say thank you for being here, and thank you for being part of our story, Joe.
You know, I spent so much of my life worrying if I was doing enough, if I was saying the right thing, making the right call, living up to what people needed me to be. But hearing you say all that, Donald, maybe I was enough. Maybe I really did make a difference, even in ways I never saw. And if this is it, if this is where my story has to end, I'm glad it ends with friends. So tell them thanks for me. And if they ever miss me, just remind them. Joe was here.
It's that sound again. I think it's about to happen.
Ah, so there you are, Joseph. How on earth did you manage to get over here? No matter, it is time for you to come home and face your fate in the void, like you were always written to.
I'm going to need a minute to process this, guys.
What are we even supposed to do now?
We have to keep going. Regardless of what happened to Joe in his world or ours, we have to make sure his memory meant something. I'm sure it does to his group, and now we have to do the same.
We'll let Donald be for now. There's no more gameplay today, so we'll just end things here.
Next time we'll make sure Joe's leaving us wasn't for nothing.